Giving like somebody staked their claim or they're on their way to do that, especially with the Ten of Cups. It's giving like that is my happily ever after, and it's giving like that's not going anywhere. Also, the Emperor in reverse is reminding me of like a tetherball court, which is kind of funny because I haven't played that in a really long time, but it's giving like you can go back and forth, but you're not going anywhere. So the Emperor in reverse with the Three of Wands is interesting because I feel like these cards are kind of the same energy. It's like this person knows that the ball's in their court, on this tetherball court, and they know that they want to make a move, but it's giving controlling a little bit. But it could just be that this person has held the ball in their court for a while. They see this as a Ten of Cups and got their eye on the prize, I guess. This energy is directed at you. The Three of Swords. You have the Knight of Cups on the bottom and the Knight of Swords in reverse. This was a situation where somebody was cut off. The Six of Wands. It's kind of giving this vibe of somebody wants to like get control of their own broken heart, or they feel like they have complete control over whether their heart is broken in the situation. I also want to say they kind of feel like they have control over like this situation being one that is heartbreaking. So they're feeling like their next move is one that kind of determines that for some reason. But the King of Pentacles and then the Six of Wands is giving like they want victory. They want to win here. And I think they want this win pretty badly because with this Three of Swords, this person maybe feels like, I think they feel like their heart is a little broken when the ball is in their court, or when they have to hold the ball in their court. There's that Knight of Cups again. This person could be wanting to like propose. They could be wanting to propose to you, but this could, especially with this Ten of Cups, they could also just be like wanting to come through with something that with the Knight of Cups, it is kind of saying like it's a gesture of love. The King of Pentacles being here with the Emperor being in reverse, it's like this person, I want to say, has kind of always known what they've wanted, or they feel comfortable in it now, but in the past they have not given to this. Or that Knight of Cups, it's like they have not given that to this. So this person has not actually come through with an energy that's reflective of the win that they're trying to achieve here, of how they actually feel. Also, there's something about you maybe coming off comfortable with like a lack of communication here, which would make sense. Like if you were the one that cut this person off because you weren't seeing them take action, then if you're like bye, then this person, they could be seeing that also. The Tower in reverse, kind of seeing this as a situation where you're like, I didn't fuck this up, so I don't need to be the one that kind of initiates whatever this is. Or like if this person wants this, they can come and do something about this. The Three of Pentacles in reverse. Also, the song Shipwreck by Florence and the Machine. I think that's who it's by. That just popped into my head. She says like building a ship to wreck. Like, did we build this relationship just to fuck it up, basically? Like, are we building a relationship that is just going to be a shipwreck kind of thing? I feel like this person doesn't want to build a shipwreck. Like, they don't want to give to the situation if they see it as one that, like, once it crumbles, you can't come back from it. But they're not seeing the situation like it's crumbled to the point of no return. You might kind of be over here like, there's that Knight of Cups again. Just keeps coming out. Which, I'm not gonna lie, is giving me this energy of like, you may have backed out in the past because you may have felt like, okay, I keep coming forward, comfortably, confidently declaring literally my love for this person. But it's like I'm doing that out of a space of, I understand that I felt hurt in this situation, so I am gonna go ahead and just do this. Like, I'm all in kind of thing. And if this person was like still holding the ball in their tetherball court, then I feel like you might have been like, you know what, I gave confidently what I had to this situation, so I'm okay not rebuilding a shipwreck. And I think this person, I want to say, they kind of know where you stand here. But the Five of Wands. You're showing up as the King of Pentacles. The Five of Wands is interesting because it's giving like, okay, if this person wants it, they can like fight for it, kind of. Like they can come in and show that they want this, right? And then the Seven of Pentacles is an energy of like, but at the same time, I'm not gonna like sit and have an energy of waiting, right? You're like, I know what seeds I've planted in this situation on my behalf, and I'm very comfortable with that. But it's like, as a King of Pentacles, if you're a King of Pentacles, you're gonna want to see some pentacles, right? And I don't mean like money, like pentacles. Like if you're showing up in something where you are planting seeds, you're gonna want to be able to have harvest season. You're gonna want to see some return on your investment in the situation. And so you might be like, all right, well, crops die after so long. There's that King of Cups, right? And then the Queen of Swords. Yeah, this is like somebody speaking on their emotion, which I kind of feel like is you in this regard. Also, the King of Pentacles, it's looking like when it comes to declarations or your confidence in terms of like expressions of love, you seem to have like not really any problem with that in this situation, especially the confidence of like a Queen of Swords. She's almost blunt about this. She's like very straight up, which is kind of cute because this person, if they're showing up as this King of, I'm kind of seeing it as this, I'm seeing it as you talking to your King of Cups here, which is like you maybe just directly telling them how you feel confidently often. And this person, if they're King of Cups, it's like, you know, they feel the love when you do this, and like they might be like soak it all in. But it's like the King of Cups is the energy of feeling the thing, like in that moment, right? Or not necessarily like an energy of like acting on it or showing on it. It's just like an embodiment of it, right? And so this person has this embodiment of all this love, but then they're operating like an emperor in reverse, which is like, hello, like they're the ball kind of thing. There's that Two of Wands. So I feel like at this point, you've already kind of assessed what your next move would be if this person does toss the ball. But the interesting thing is, like, how do you know what you're going to do here if you don't know what this person's going to say when they come through, right? But if you're moving based on your feeling here, which with that Knight of Cups, like you often do, then it makes sense that you understand how you'd move here. I also feel like this Two of Wands is sort of saying that you have a pretty accurate, like, representation here or picture of like what the situation is like as a whole, right? And so I also feel like you're comfortable sitting back right now because your action, it's giving like your words align with your actions and you're comfortable and confident in that, and you know that. So you know that like any conflict that comes from that, you also kind of know how to operate if that's the case, right? I'm gonna do a part two. But there's something about like the internal or the reflection that this person's had during this period of time, or this like pause, or this Three of Cups in reverse. And then the Four of Cups. I feel like you may kind of feel like even though you kind of operated, like I was talking about in part one, like relatively confidently about the moves that you were making in this situation, it still has an energy of like, even though this person maybe, it's like they didn't match that energy or they don't operate the same in terms of their expressions or their actions. What's showing up with the Ten of Cups, like this is the ultimate for them. This is where they want to end up. Like this is end game. This is for them, right? It's the place they want to be. But you're maybe feeling kind of rejected. I also want to say, like, even though it may be, it's like not rejection, like fully like this person just shot you down. And it's not coming from like a rejection wound. It's just showing up like you maybe time and time again were not feeling like you were just being received. And it could just be because this person, like when you toss the ball to them, they hold it. And so you're like, I don't really see this person giving me an affirmation of like, you know, whatever I just gave to them. So there's not like, it's like when you make someone dinner and you're like waiting for their response to see like, okay, do you like it? Like, do you not like it? And this person kind of like, that's interesting that I picked up the Two of Wands. It's, well, not really. It kind of makes sense. It's like they're looking at the plate, right? And they see it, they take it all in. And that's what I was saying in part one with like that King of Cups. Like when you say how you feel, like they feel it all, but you're not seeing that be returned to you. It's like all your cups here, all your meals that you made, they've eaten them, they're there, but they're not coming in with this energy that makes you feel supported, right? And so you're like, all right, well, I'll just kind of sit comfortably here because there's nothing I can do at this point. And then the Fool. The Fool is interesting though, because like I was saying, I feel like you have kind of your next move and like what that would be mapped out. So you probably played tetherball, like I was saying in part one, a few times with this person. Or you're just like, all right, there's really not too many different moves I could make here based on how this person comes in. So I'm okay kind of just like going with the flow in whatever this is. Or in the meantime, I'm going to kind of just like explore whatever territory is in front of me right now. And I also feel like with the Three of Cups in reverse and the Four of Cups, it's not really showing up like you even have that much interest in like dating. You actually could be turning other people's offers down because you also really only are interested in this person. There's the Hierophant. You're like, if I'm going to commit to something, it's going to be this. I've been playing tetherball in this situation for a really long time with this person. So you're like, that's my partner. I only play tetherball with this person. But they're holding ball right now, so like I'm not rebuilding a ship if they've walked away, right? The Hermit again came out. The Hermit and the Fool. I feel like what's interesting is we're talking all about you, and I have these three cards for this person at the top, and it's still an energy of like assessing, right? This person could like follow you on social media, or there's something about like, I'm not really getting an energy of like gathering intel. Could just be that they have your socials, right? This also doesn't show up like there was some kind of huge argument or anything that happened in the situation. It's more so just giving an energy of like internal conflict. Not really even for this other person. I feel like for you, I feel like this energy of like conflict that's showing up with the Five of Wands and the Three of Swords is from the past. It's like residual energy of like, yeah, we know that there's been conflict in the situation with the like just with us in general in the past. But I want to kind of look into like where this person's head is at, if we can tap into their energy, but they're kind of quiet. They're looking pretty quiet. They're just here, and you're pretty confident and like your actions align with your words. Like you walk your talk, right? And so this person, they just walk, right? Like they're probably not a big talker in terms of emotional clarity here, but they're a feeler. They're a feeler and a walker. So I want to check in and see like, what does that mean? Where are they walking? Because you can't walk very far in like a tetherball court. It's a circle. Unless you guys have like a really, really, really tall tetherball pole and like a really big circle. Just have a lot of space that you guys could be comfortable with distance in this relationship. Guilt and sabotage. Healing and inner child. Cycles, completion, change. This is a kind of a gory looking card, but I think it's just paint on her face. Ace, water, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Self-love, creation, intentions. I feel like this person sees how satisfied you are in your life right now. And so there is an energy of you knowing who you are as this King of Pentacles. Like you sit comfortably in the life that you've created, essentially. And so with that, there's also this vibe of like, I want to say this is kind of spelling out with these oracle cards, this energy of like, yes, I understand myself and I understand this person to where I know that like they have guilt for things that they maybe have done or ways that they have acted while they were still healing, while they were figuring themselves out. I also feel like with cycles, water and then self-love, it's giving Cancer energy, but also like Cancer season. I feel like you understand that this person, like you know they're a person. I don't think you believe it. I don't think you're viewing this as black and white, but I think that's also why you're showing up with an energy of like you're not really tripping, and so you're letting the ball be in this person's court. Self-love, creation, and intentions is like you know that you have intention in what you're doing in the situation. Like you're building, you know what you're wanting here, and I don't think you have expectations through the roof, but I think you're moving with intention with this person. It looks like they are also moving with intention. This water sign energy, apology. Why do I feel emotional all of a sudden? I feel like this person, I kind of feel like they maybe want to match your vibe a little bit. Forgiveness, return, sorry. Looks like they want to toss the ball, but I think they want to match you. I don't think they want to compete with you in this game. I think it's not a game, right? My analogy is playing tetherball for some reason, which is interesting because I posted something like a week ago or 2 weeks ago where I was saying something about like we're feeling untethered here. We're just like off doing our own thing and maybe feeling kind of isolated. And it could be that this person was feeling that way over the last, I want to say like week or two. But now they're like, I want to come home. Like I want to retether myself here, escaping, avoiding, blocking, pushing away. They could be feeling like some guilt here. And that may also be why they're assessing the situation or taking this much time to assess the situation. But I think this person might be apologizing for that, or they might lead with that. Also, this person could be someone who in the past, they feel guilty maybe for sabotaging the situation by pushing you away. But I feel like with self-love and then this water sign energy and the ace, I feel like one of these cycles for you offered you an opportunity to find self-love. And I think that that's something where when you're in a situation with somebody who is kind of avoidant or has had avoidant tendencies in the past, it really does kind of require, like, it requires somebody who is very, like, centered in their self-worth and who doesn't take this person's own trauma or their own avoidance personally. And it requires somebody in King of Pentacles energy. There is an energy of you're going to have to kind of provide for yourself for the most part, but it doesn't mean that this person is not connected with you enough to know that it still is going to affect the relationship or affect your heart when this person's not showing up. I feel like this person feels guilty for some of the downfalls that they have, but yes, they're downfalls, right? And then also at a certain point, if we want to match someone's energy, we want to show up to this, especially if this person's viewing the situation as 10 of Cups, their ultimate, their end game, then they know that there's a level of like movement or growth that is required of them. And I feel like with this person showing up as an Emperor in reverse, I do think that there is a bit of like comfort zone in terms of, you know, if this person has been avoidant in the past, then like it makes sense that it's hard to want to breach like your own comfort zone here or to untether yourself, which also is reminding me of like codependency. And it could be something where this person, if they have super avoidant tendencies, they could have also had some codependent tendencies. And I think that there might have been some kind of like untethering in the last, like, it could be like a few months. I'm thinking of spring, where you maybe feel like you had to establish yourself over here and that this person staying over there, it's like you have to be hands off at a certain point because you're not wanting to either enable or continue a codependent dynamic with this person, which requires them to kind of face themselves or look in the mirror here. And it does, you know, it pushes us towards that inner child healing or whatever in us is kind of, you know, whatever we're acting out of, right? Which usually is like childhood wounds. This apology and this escaping energy. Do we need to know anything more about that? Epiphany and breakthrough that fell on top of cycles. So whatever's happening here, it does kind of seem like it's a pivot point, or it's like a, you know, we're kind of stepping, I don't want to say stepping through a threshold because that seems really like big and change. It just seems like, okay, we're getting out of a past mode of operating and we're going to maybe show up in a way that challenges ourselves a little bit, or this may be kind of how this person is feeling. So I do think that this person realized something here during their time. I don't think they've just been silently holding the ball, like, to piss you off. Disharmony, triggers, and conflict. I think this person realized something about themselves, especially with this guilt, inner child healing, self-love, and then this water energy. It's like emotionally, they maybe realized something, especially with that Hermit card that we got in the last two parts. They noticed something about themselves, or they had some kind of epiphany, or they had a breakthrough here about some of the conflicts. Like I was saying, the residual conflict energy from the past. And now they're maybe understanding a certain reason why you guys have kind of like been still working through some cycles that have been a little bit prolonged in this situation. I also feel like there is kind of this energy of patience from you, because you know what you've given to the situation, but you also love this person. And I don't think you're like, I don't think you see this person as your enemy for some, like, because you know that they're not like the perfect version of them that they want to be, right? I don't think that you enable this person, but it's showing up like you're pretty emotionally mature for the most part. But you're loving someone who is still working on themselves and they're still growing. Or it's looking like they're wanting to commit to knowing themselves. And I think that your relationship has a lot to do with this. Perspective, better off, happiness, clear headspace. I kind of feel like you're not in the worst spot right now. And then we have mistakes, misunderstood, victim, lost soul. Feminine. I immediately see that as an ex. Air, Ace, Aquarius. This person's ex could be an air sign. Mercury, messages, travel, communication. I kind of like what I was about to say is I feel like there's kind of an energy of this person in the past having a hard time understanding certain ways that they show up in your connection and how they contribute to the dynamic and the conflict in certain ways, or they're understanding their triggers a little bit better than they did in a past situation with a past person. And I also feel like there's something very specific about with messages, communication. It's like the difference in communication style, not like between you and their ex, but like for them and the way that they're required to show up and how different that is compared to how maybe they did in a past relationship, and how this situation challenges them. And it could also be that this situation with you challenges them to find self-love in a way that they didn't know they had a challenge. They didn't know it was challenging in this way in past relationships. It's like there is some kind of major breakthrough that this person is understanding about themselves. Now we have, I'm not going to take those ones. Thoughts, isolating. I do feel like this person, they could be someone who often does kind of, I don't want to say run, this is not running energy here. I think they just shut down in times where they need to get their head clear. Like I I'm not here to excuse this person and say that this is like a normal thing, or that I'm not saying this is healthy, but it does look like this is how this person operates. It's actually showing up pretty clear, even with just the 3 cards that we got from the tarot with them. I think this person can isolate themselves. I also feel like they might kind of have in the past sort of almost like punished themselves for doing this, or for like not feeling enough, or for feeling that they messed the situation up. I do feel like this person has a pretty, like, they're very self-aware, even though they don't operate as if like they're completely healed, right? They're still a self-aware person. They understand their own tendencies. Hold on, the sun's getting really bright. We have nurture and compassion, which is cute. And then we have fate, detours, divine intervention. So this nurture and compassion energy is really cute because it's like when this person does kind of escape the situation or they avoid or they have to kind of sit with their thoughts, I feel like they actually do lean into like this self-awareness, but I think they think about you. Also, this is just making me think like this person right now, even though they're not speaking or they are really good at like holding their cards close to their chest, I still feel like this person loves you, and I feel like this person wants to, it could be that they just kind of want to cuddle, or like every time, it could also be that every time that you guys have tried to initiate something like this, or it could be like trying to meet up, or trying to see eye to eye, or to express yourselves, or for this person, for them to express themselves in a way where they can show you the compassion that they really, it seems like they want to. They've had maybe a detour here, right? But a lot of this I feel like is divine intervention to get this situation to this point where this person was able to like have this epiphany breakthrough situation, right? Because we also have reflection, like a broken mirror, and then projections. I think that there's something that this person needed to understand specifically about how they were showing up, or how they like something about themselves that is going to affect the way that they try to show up in a good way. Unexpected storm. There's multiple cards here about lightning. And then we have facade and beliefs and a mask. I kind of feel like you see through this person's mask, and that may also be part of the reason why you're like chilling. That facade mask card and then the broken mirror card, something that you've probably gotten really good at in this situation is not taking their mask personally, but also not seeing them when they're wearing a mask as an accurate reflection of like a real mirror for you. Because if somebody is wearing a mask or they're not, you know, acting out of their authentic self and they're responding to you in a way that is masking certain emotions, it's like if you're trying to understand this relationship through their eyes, that's going to be really hard to do. It's like looking in a broken mirror, right? And so at a certain point, it feels like you can't really trust how this person is receiving you. You can't really, like I was saying, there's a lot of like, okay, that was that 4 of Cups and 3 of Cups in reverse in the first part, where you're like, I know that like how I showed up is me and is real. And so you're satisfied with that, but it was like the dinner plate thing, right? Like for a certain time, or it could also, there was a certain time, or it could also be that this kind of like did pull you under a little bit, but it's the energy of like not understanding fully exactly how this person is viewing you or viewing the relationship. And I feel like you thought you had like a really good gauge on that, because again, like your self-worth is not really fully dependent, or like your understanding of yourself is not fully dependent on how someone else shows up, right? Like that's a them thing, which means that you've done a lot of work here when it comes to your own self-love, when it comes to your like moving with intention in whatever you're creating here with creation. So I want to know if there's like any advice for you, because I don't know if I even want to look into like what this person's going to come through with. We got some stuff about their intentions, right? And I kind of feel like I don't want to like set anything in stone here. Just let that, you know, the actions that this person moves on speak for themselves, but they're moving with intention. So just know that. You can confirm maybe how this person's feeling about you right now, because I do feel a lot of love energy. And I feel like this person misses you. Like, I feel like this person's thinking about you. That compassion, it's like the person kissing the other person's forehead. Like, I feel like this person just kind of wants to, like, hold you. Oh, the Lover. Hold on, the sun's getting really bright again. Number on this is 23, so the 23rd is coming up in a few days. That could be significant for you. Also 2023, and sometimes I see this as the 23rd hour, so 11 p.m. Or February and March could have been significant months for you guys. It says, with love, all things are possible, for love replaces your confusing doubts and weakening fears with faith in yourself and others. This card doesn't really grammatically make sense, but for love replaces your confusing doubts and weakening fears with, well, this person may not be like a good communicator, which, you know, we kind of talked about that a little bit. I cannot do the sun, hold on. You could just like shine really bright like a diamond. The Peacemaker, 22. It is time to make peace. You will get much further on your path through kind acts and words than you will by forcing things or vengeance. I feel like something that makes this person comfortable, or like I was saying the last couple parts, like actually like want to make changes or to continue to like grow into the version of themselves that they see themselves being in the future here, is the fact that like, one, they know that your love in this situation, it's much realer, and it does, your actions do line up with your words. It's realer than their doubts and their fears about themselves, and about like how like some of their own self-doubt, some of the things that they fight with in their own mind about the situation or their own heart. It's like they know that they know you, they know your heart. They also feel probably really safe in your energy, especially a King of Pentacles. That is like, that's somebody grounded and very stable, somebody very reliable. And you also are maybe kind of traditional in some sense, like you do things by the book for the most part. I also feel like they know that you're not necessarily gonna force them, like this card talks about, and I think that they know that you're not like overly forgiving, but I think you have a level of understanding here that's like, you know, they come in peace. You know that they don't see you as a doormat. Like they don't, again, they know that you have enough confidence in yourself and enough love in your relationship to not necessarily take their space that they need as something that's reflective of like you and how you move in this relationship. And it's not a reflection of how much you're worth, right? The Drama Queen, 14. Some people need a high level of attention to validate their sense of worth. Make sure that you are not that person staging needless plays. That with the Peacemaker card, I don't think you're perfect. I don't think you're a perfect patient person. I think that you have understanding in this situation of how you show up. And I feel like you're confident in that and you have been reliable, but there has been conflict here. And I do think that the reason that this and the Peacemaker card and the Lover is coming out is because while you guys were not talking, there could have definitely been a moment where you were like, okay, maybe I'm gonna surrender this. Like I was saying, the shipwreck situation, right? You might have kind of like in the past given this person some heat in terms of like how you feel about the situation not being one where you're seeing this person building. You didn't have a ton of evidence for this for a while from this person or their actions. And it could be that their words were not aligning with that for a bit. But I think this situation has tested your patience in the past. I also feel like you are maybe understanding that like it's not necessarily worth staging a big play, or it could be like it's not worth throwing a tantrum in this situation to feel heard by someone who is still processing their own stuff. It's like you figure out when, like there's a time and place for everything these days, right? The Grace, 44. Forgive yourself and anyone else in your situation, even if you or they do not deserve it. To forgive is to mirror the divine forces who love us. Also, this person has probably been very forgiving with you in the past with some of the things that you have done out of a place of impatience with them. And I also feel like that to you, if anything, that maybe has been evidence here of like your guys' bond and the fact that neither of you guys are perfect, right? Situation's not black and white. I also want to know, that was 26. That could be a significant day, or that could like be a birthday, or it's someone's birthday coming up. I think about you all the time. That's reminding me of that one, I think it's Jeremiah song. I'm gonna go find it. It's called All the Time. It popped into my head as I was reading that. You haven't left this person's mind. Are you thinking about me? That's cute. I think about you. Are you thinking about me? I think that with this validation card, I feel like you know that this person, like, Shit, if even if their birthday is the 26th, the 26th is a relevant date coming up, that's Leo energy. This person could be a Leo. This person could like to know that your spotlight is on them a little bit. They could really just like your attention. Like you could give good love. I was saying in that last part, oh, I want to fall asleep next to you. I was saying, I think this person just wants to like hold you. Also, this person probably thinks a lot about you when they wake up and when they go to bed. You're probably the first and last person or thing on this person's mind every day. I wish you were mine. And it slid over to this 10 of Cups, which is like end game, right? I want to see if there's anything this person would say to you. Or anything that confirms their intention here for the last minute that we have of this reading. I connect with you at night on top of the I want to fall asleep next to you. Oh, I didn't even notice, but we have I miss you. It's just sitting right here. Like I was saying, the person's feeling some feels. Oh, I have this mean deck I want to see. I know I was a fool, but I'm truly sorry. There was something about apology energy. This person feels kind of guilty. I have a really mean deck that I want to grab. It has some nice cards. I want to see if anything comes out. I have 30 seconds left, so. I feel abandoned by you, and it's triggering my childhood traumas. That's not that mean. That's just that's confirming part 2. I'm going through a roller coaster of emotions and I won't admit it. And then my mask keeps me safe. I need to fake my feelings. That's all confirmation.